The Ohio River is murky and dark, and you've got to wonder what's floating around in there. Cincinnati Magazine went diving to find 3 creatures that make up the Ohio River's ecosystem. And Jeff Thomas is the manager of biological programs for the Ohio River Valley Water Sanitation Commission. Good morning. It's great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
In this article, they talk about 3 different kinds of fish living in the river, and the interesting one to start off with was the paddlefish. Tell us about this one.
Well, paddlefish are probably one of the most unique organisms we have in the river. There's nothing else like it in the world except for another species in China that's somewhat similar.
Interesting.
It's only found in the Mississippi River Basin, and we almost lost it back in the 50s and 60s when the water was pretty polluted out there. But as things have improved quite a bit, and over the 70s and 80s, it's started to make a good comeback. It's doing pretty well down in areas like Paducah, down in the lower part of the river. And we actually have a decent population here in Cincinnati.
Well, we want to show you a picture, too, of some of the fish that you're talking about. And we're talking also about the Asian carp. Which one is that one there in the picture?
Asian carp, we're actually talking about 2 different species. The one shown there is probably a big head carp. We also have silver carp, which are the ones that are notorious for jumping out of the water. They'll jump sometimes 5 to 6 feet out of the water.
I've seen that. Yeah,
and they get pretty big too, so it could be a potential hazard for skiers, boaters, people swimming, things like that. But the real concern for the biological communities are that big head carp, silver carp, they grow very fast, they grow very big, and they're extremely efficient filter feeders, which means they filter small particles out of the water. And this is bad for our native filter feeders like paddlefish, as well as a lot of other young of some species like bass.
If I saw that thing hop out at me at the river, I think, oh my goodness, there really is something large living in there.
Absolutely.
Well, tell us too about what makes the water mussels there interesting to see in the river too. Yeah,
we have another unique fauna, freshwater mussels. We have a huge diversity of these things out in the river, and they're very interesting animals. One of the most interesting things they do is their reproductive style. They require a host fish for their young, so the young will live on a host fish for a while, develop, and then drop off and become an adult mussel. And the way they attract these fish is pretty interesting. They'll develop a lure that's specific to certain species of fish. The fish will come down, try to take a bite, and then the mussel sprays its young onto the gills and the fins of the fish where they'll live for several weeks.
Wow, so many things to learn about the Ohio River and what's living there. And you can read more about this and the Ohio River in this month's edition of Cincinnati Magazine. Thank you so much, Jeff. We appreciate it.
Thank you.